Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we've got one of the craziest what-if ideas you'll ever hear. What if planet Earth was shaped like a donut? Yeah, you heard that right. A world with a giant hole in the middle, spinning through space like a cosmic bagel. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next deep dive into even more mind-bending science ideas. So, let's imagine you wake up one morning and Earth isn't round anymore. It's a torus, a massive ring world floating in space. At first glance, it might look awesome. You could look up in the sky and actually see the other side of the world curving above you. But things wouldn't be as simple as they seem. Gravity, sunlight, weather, everything would change. The middle hole would cast a giant shadow over parts of the planet. The sky would look totally different. Some places would never see the sun at all, while others would get endless daylight. And if you tried to travel around this donut Earth, you'd face an entirely new geography. One that bends, loops, and twists in ways that would make even Google Maps give up. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we explore what life would be like, we need to understand one thing first. How would gravity even work on a donut-shaped Earth? Alright, so let's imagine standing on the surface of our donut-shaped Earth. You'd probably expect gravity to pull you down like normal, right? Well, not quite. On a torus-shaped planet, gravity doesn't pull straight toward the center like it does on a sphere. Instead, it gets really weird. If you stood on the outer edge of the donut, gravity would still pull you toward the thick outer ring. But as you moved closer to the inner edge, near the hole, gravity would start pulling you sideways toward the wider parts of the planet. That means walking uphill or downhill would feel totally different depending on where you are. In fact, near the inside rim, you might even feel lighter, almost like walking on the moon. And if you somehow climbed up over the edge and looked down into the hole in the middle, you wouldn't see open space. You'd see the other side of the world curving above you like a glowing ring in the sky. Imagine sunsets happening not on the horizon, but bending around the hole above your head. But this weird gravity wouldn't just mess with your balance. It would completely reshape the oceans and atmosphere too. Water would flow toward the outer edge where gravity is stronger, leaving the inner parts dry and barren. Giant rings of ocean might circle the planet like shimmering belts, while massive storms would swirl endlessly around the central void. And what about the air? The atmosphere wouldn't spread evenly like on round Earth. It would pool in the outer regions, making them thick and humid, while the inner parts might have thin, dry air, maybe even unbreathable. Flying a plane or launching a rocket there would be a nightmare. So, could humans even live on this world? Let's find out next. So, let's imagine humanity living on this bizarre torus-shaped planet. First off, day and night would look nothing like what we know. Because of the strange way sunlight bends around the ring, parts of the inner surface would never get direct daylight. They'd live in a constant twilight, while the outer regions would have blazing long days and harsh nights. You might wake up and see the other side of the planet glowing faintly in the sky. Not the moon, but Earth itself. Cities would naturally form on the outer ring where gravity is stable and sunlight is regular. That would be the prime real estate. There, life could look somewhat normal: blue oceans, forests, people living under familiar skies. But the closer you moved toward the inner edge, the stranger it would get. The air would thin, the horizon would bend upwards, and you'd see entire continents arched above you like a glowing ribbon. Traveling between regions would be extremely difficult. Imagine a giant curved wall of rock and atmosphere separating the outer and inner zones. Air pressure changes could cause hurricane-force winds. Planes might need special engines to handle the shifting gravity fields. Trains and cars might not even work properly in some areas. In time, that would feel different too, Because gravity changes slightly across the ring, clocks on one side would tick slower than on the other, a tiny but measurable difference thanks to Einstein's relativity. If people managed to adapt, they might develop completely different cultures. The outer world, bright, oceanic, and dense, could host sprawling megacities powered by solar energy. The inner world, dim, dry, and mysterious, might be home to scientists, miners, or even strange forms of life evolved for low light. Maybe giant plants that glow softly or animals that sense magnetic fields instead of light. Now let's face the big question. Could a donut-shaped Earth really exist? Sadly, not for long. The laws of physics just wouldn't allow it. Gravity always pulls matter toward the center, and on a normal spherical Earth, that works perfectly. But on a torus, a donut shape, gravity would act in strange, uneven ways. The outer rim would have stronger pull, while the inner hole would experience weaker gravity or even none at all. That means matter would slowly drift toward the outer side until the shape collapsed under its own weight. Eventually, the planet would flatten, crumble, and fall apart, turning into a dense, chaotic ring system around a molten core. Even if some super-advanced civilization managed to build or stabilize such a planet, maybe using massive technology or artificial gravity, it would still face endless dangers. Unstable weather patterns, collapsing tectonic plates, and huge tidal stresses from the sun and moon. So, in the end, our donut-shaped Earth would be a breathtaking cosmic sight, but an impossible home. A reminder that our own round planet, perfectly balanced and life-sustaining, might be the most incredible shape of all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed imagining this wild scenario, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next mind-bending What If adventure. See you in the next video, and remember, reality can be even stranger than imagination.